Hi, I'm Dr. Haley Perlus, sports psychology expert, here with today's mental toughness moment. And this is actually second video that I'm recording based on the lessons learned from Coach Nick Saban's college football team in Alabama. But before I go into college football, I want to actually backtrack way back to the first ever sports psychology study recorded. And it is from a researcher, Norman Triplett, who looked at cyclists. And he compared cyclists' performances when they were riding alone versus when they were riding in a group. And he concluded that cyclists' performance enhanced when the cyclists were amongst a group. So there was a social causation. In other words, you perform better when you're with people. And we know this happens all the time. But what I want to point out is going now back to the Alabama team. I want to look at their two quarterbacks because they have two great quarterbacks. And I really hope I get their names right. But Jalen Hurts is one, and then Tua Tagovailoa is the second. And in this game, they actually both played. They both were starting quarterbacks on the field when they beat Georgia in the college football playoff national championships, and they won 26-23. And the reason why I bring these two quarterbacks up is because I believe, it is my humble, personal, yet, professional opinion, that they were able to use each other, work with each other, both cooperatively and competitively, to optimize their performance, to give them an added motivation, maybe even raise their confidence, to heighten their focus so that they could perform their best on that given day. Now, I'm not saying they didn't make any mistakes. That is not what I'm saying. But what we can do when we're performing with others, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we're performing at the same time, because these quarterbacks aren't performing at the same time. When one is on, the other is obviously not on. They're off on the sidelines. But knowing that you are working with someone, well, it heightens our competitive instincts. And as a professional athlete or as an elite athlete, we all have those competitive instincts. And so it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to want to be competitive, even with your teammates. But we do it in a cooperative fashion, because if they do well, then we as a team do well. So we have that, we call it co-opetition, cooperation and competition joint together. We learn from each other. We push each other. We compete against each other. We root for each other. All of these factors enhance our performance. And so if we go way back to the very first recorded sports psychology study and we look at Norman Triplett's research where cyclists perform better when they're amongst people, it's the same thing for us. That's why we have all of these great group fitness classes. That's why we have great programs like a Peloton that's making huge strides in the fitness industry. That's why we work better when we work with and against others in a cooperative and competitive fashion. Bringing it home to you. It doesn't matter what your sport is, whether it's an individual sport or groups or team sport. It doesn't matter if you're doing fitness, whether you're, engaged in physical activity and exercise by yourself or whether it's a group. In business, same thing. Immerse yourself with others somehow, some way. Learn from them. Push each other. Teach them as well as learn from them. Compete against them in a cooperative, friendly fashion. You don't want to start doing, being a poor sportsman or poor sportswoman, but use it to your advantage, just like I personally believe these quarterbacks did in the game last night. If you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Leave them in the space provided. And until next time, have a wonderful rest of your day.